Hello everybody, Brad Hussey here with the art, business, and craft of web design, where we talk, learn, and play all things web design. And today in this video lesson of our free web design course, we're going to be talking about planning your website. What do you got to do? What are the questions you got to ask? What are the steps? How do you make a good website plan? Is it really that complicated or is it quite simple? Let's find out. That's hot. All right, everybody, what's up? Brad Hussey here. Like I said, in this lesson, we're going to be digging into making a plan for your website. Okay, so when I thought about this lesson, I was taking in some questions, and in my 10 or so years as a web designer, I've designed lots of websites, worked with lots of clients, worked with agencies. I've taught a bunch of students. And so what I like to do when I teach this step is keep it really simple. When it comes to planning a website, there's just a few basic things you have to think about. And it is important to plan a site, just as if you were to build something like if you were building like a woodworking project, you'd want to, sketch out some notes. You'd want to take your notepad, you'd want to write out your plans. You got your plans for your project, you're building a cutting board or a workbench or a bookcase. You want to know your cut list. You want to know, well, what wood do I need? What supplies do I need? What are my cut lists? Where do I cut? How many of the 2x4s? How many of the 8x10s? And maple, walnut, cherry, pine, oak. What do you want to do? What plan do you want? What's the end result? The reason you have that is a reference point so that you're not just coming in hot and just starting to build. Because I've tried to build things before, say in the wood shop, and just taking pieces of wood and going for it. Now, if I was more experienced, maybe that would be a lot easier. Just as with web design, the more experience you get, the easier the planning process, and maybe the less necessary. I've definitely built my fair share of websites without even thinking of this process. But almost always it's a good idea, especially if you're just starting. So for those of you who want to know kind of what's in the whole planning a website process, let's make it real simple. All right, planning a website, an introduction into the web design process. So the very, very first thing you need to know, whether this is for a client or your own projects, or you're working for an agency, you're getting a job, is what's the goal of the site? What's the one thing that this site has to do well? Not the 5 things, not all the different thoughts and all the cool things and all the showcases and all the cool features. None of that matters. Your website, whether it's a 1-page landing page or it's a 500,000 page e-commerce site with products out the wazoo, you got to know the goal. What's the goal? The number one thing that you got to do. You got to ask that. So think about it. Think about, let's say, for example, my website, bradhussey.ca. What's the one goal? Now, I'm not saying it's a really good site. In fact, I'm thinking about redesigning it here with you guys on the YouTube channel. We'll get to that after another time. But think about, I'm going to use my own site, bradhussey.ca. It's a blog. It's a place where people look for me. They look for my courses. They look to hire me. They look to book a call so that they can join my courses or hire my services. So I got to think, okay, if I'm, building this site from scratch or redesigning it, what's the goal? Well, the goal for me would be to collect email subscribers, because I have a really robust email marketing system that I've built over the years that takes people from where they are, the opt-in page, and sends them to the right place, whether it's a course, booking a call, a free email series, a weekly newsletter. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in place that once I get the email, the magic happens 24/7. So for me, it's not sending them to a blog post. It's not sending them to my Instagram. It's getting their email, the one thing. So for me, on my personal brand website, it's collecting your email address so I can maintain communication with you by building my list. Now, let's say you got a client and they are, let's say a chiropractor, and they were affected due to the pandemic. They're coming to you because they want to know If they can, they got restrictions in place, but they still can see people with certain mandates and restrictions, yada, yada, yada. But you know what? They want you to redesign their site and help them so they can get, more people to their practice. Let's say, for example, the pandemic is lifted. We're in the future now. Everyone's happy, clappy. It's all behind us. It was a little dark, but we're moving on. Let's say that things are open, okay? Let's say they talk to you and you need to ask them when you're in that discovery call with them, that initial client meeting, that kickoff, what's your goal for the site? If your site did one thing, what would it be? Not what colors do you like, or what font choices do you want? Or when a lot of the times clients will say, you know what, I would really like to have a really beautiful website. You're like, is that the goal? No, that's not the goal. So the goal would be something like, I want more foot traffic. I want more phone calls. I want more people entering their email into the email form. I want more purchases on the site. I want more course sales. I want more leads. These are things that are actually meaningful goals. And it depends on the customer. It depends on the client. It depends on the website. So for your goal for, say, a chiropractor, I've worked with chiropractors on their websites and their branding and their marketing. It's usually to get phone calls. They like it old school. They want to get you on the phone, get their secretary to boop, 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 put you in for an appointment or to book an appointment online. That's usually the goal. So that's what everything is focused around. And the reason why you want to know the goal is because everything is focused around the goal. So for me, collecting email addresses, I want to make sure all my high impact, high traffic opt-in areas are collecting your email address. Maybe before you leave the site, I want an exit intent modal window that pops up and says, yo, before you go, you might want to put your email address, because if you do, I'll give you this special surprise, something like that. For your chiropractor, phone number, easily accessible, clickable on the mobile device. When you're looking at the screen, phone number up front and center, always on the screen, the call button or the book an appointment button. Let's say it's an e-commerce brand, physical storefront, suffering due to the pandemic, and now they're bringing their stuff online with a Shopify site or whatever. Their goal would be to sell their products online, meal delivery services, to be able to get as many meal delivery customers on their site, make it easy to sign up for a free trial, to get a lead, to get a phone call. You get the idea. Right? The goal. That's the main thing. Client call, you got to ask, what's the goal? Not what's the style? What's the vibe? What do you like? What do you don't like? What tickles your fancy? What rocks your boat? None of that. What's your goal? And they're going to lie. They're going to tell you, they're going to say, you know what, Brad? My goal is to have a really good information on my website. No, you don't. They're either lying straight through their teeth, or they don't know the answer. So it's your job as the web design consultant to ask the questions. Why? Why do you want a beautiful website? Well, I want a beautiful website because, we're in the modern times. People like beautiful websites. Why do you think that? Why do you think that people like beautiful websites? Well, I think that because the new chiropractor down the road, they have a beautiful website. And why do you think the new chiropractor, why do you think that matters? Well, they're getting more business than us, and they're actually taking business from us because of their beautiful website. Do you think it's their beautiful website? What else do you think that they're doing that maybe you could do better, or that you would like to be able to adopt? Oh, well, you know what? They have they seem like they got it together. We've got this old school site. It doesn't even work on the phone anymore. We just used to go old fashioned through the yellow pages, and these guys are just swiping up our business, and it's starting to hurt. Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. Why does that matter? Why? Until you get to the root. It's this new, modern, young, fresh-faced business is stealing our business and our retirement plan just because they seem like they got it together, top to bottom, inside and out, especially online. And I need help with that. And we need to claim our customers back and to bring our marketing strategy into the digital world to be able to communicate with a younger audience. Bingo! That's why you need a goal. That's why you need to ask. Don't ask, what's your goal? Oh, it's a pretty website. As soon as you leave it at that, you're a rookie. That's a rookie mistake. And any good web designer worth their salt knows to keep asking why until they get to the actual goal. So that's why you need to know a goal. Almost knocked my hat off my head. Okay. Next, idea vomit your content. What in the world does that even mean? Whoops. Step 2, idea vomit your content. There it is. What does that mean? That's my intense way of saying you need to put all of your ideas for what's on the site. Now that you got your goal, everything is going to be cast, like everything is in light of that goal. So idea vomit all your ideas for your website. Let's see if my iPad works. All right, let's check this out here. That's not an iPad. That's double Brad. All right. Is it working? Oh yeah, it's working. Okay. So what I mean by idea vomit your content, well, let's say this. So that's a sheet of paper, an iPad, whatever you're using for sketches. Idea vomit. Can you see that? There we go. Idea vomit. So then what do I mean by that? Basically, whether you're using sticky notes, a notepad, your iPad, whatever it is, just a document, you want to write out everything that's going to be on your site. Everything that you want, everything that that your client wants, whether you're working with an agency, working with a client, working with yourself, you want to ask, now that I know my goal, okay, so you got your goal. You want to make sure that everything is in light of that goal. So think about, okay, I want more email leads to my personal brand to get them in my email list. Okay, so let's just start spitting out ideas. So what do we want on our site? What are the pages? Well, I know I want a home page. Okay, I want an about page. What else? I'm going to need a blog, products. I sell products, maybe courses. So that's another one. I have courses. Let's see. What other ideas do I got? We've got maybe landing pages for like email opt-ins. What else? We got a contact page, services. So these are just like all the different things that you think that you want on your site. You just vomit it out. Don't think too hard. You can take things away. You can clean things up. You can work from there. You don't think too hard. This is not the editing process. This is just the get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. What else? Sales page for courses or products or services, like a booking page. Okay, we got a booking page. So again, idea vomit, we're just getting everything out here. So that seems about good for me for say my personal brand site. I'm good. So then you got all the ideas out, okay? Now another way you might want to do this is use a piece of paper. Idea vomit. Watch this. I'm just using a word editor. Idea vomit Brad's website. Okay. So let's just say for idea vomits, again, sorry for the term. Some people just say idea brainstorm or whatever. I don't call it that. Just get it out. Why I call it vomit is because you just want to get it out of there. Okay. So we got home page, not a homer page. We got home, about, services, courses, products, sales page is contact. Let's see, blog. What else do I got? Booking page. So, okay, so we got all the things out. What do I want on the home page? Tab in there. I'm going to say a hero section with email opt-in. Again, watch this. I want the goal, primary goal. It's going to be build email list. Okay. And then from there, everything's in light of that. So we got the hero section with the email opt-in, and quick, unique value proposition, attention grabbing. We want, what else? Quick intro, links to key pages. Maybe I want a secondary call to action, which would be like book a call. So some people, I want most people to get on my email list right here, but secondary, I want them to book a call. You know, some people are not, they don't want to just get on my email list. They just want to book a call and hire me or buy something like a coaching program or whatever. And what else? Okay. From there, we want a footer email opt-in. And okay, that's good. About, quick story. Keep it personal slash real. Keep it real. So like family, pictures of family, kind of more. This is kind of more my vibe. And another email opt-in at the footer. Okay, and now we got services, courses, products, sales page, like this booking page. So I could probably clean that up. It's probably a better way of handling all this. I don't want a services page, a courses page, all that sort of stuff. So maybe what I would do, you know, is have a work with me page. And then under that, maybe a drop down or on the key page. I'm not sure just yet. I'm going to have hire me, courses. Actually, not hire me. I'm going to say book a call, courses, and maybe if I had any products. Yeah, I got a few things. Let's just say that. Okay, so I can clean this up. Boom. So I just clean that up a little bit. Sales pages, that's just a template. So for my courses, I'm going to need sales pages in order to, you know, those are just templates, but let's not worry about actual templates. Let's worry about actual pages, what people are going to interact with. Contact page. Let's actually add a blog here. So we got the blog. So we got the blog overview page, and we've got the individual blog posts. Okay, good enough. Keep it simple. So get rid of that. Don't need the booking page. That's under the book a call. Contact. Actually, no, I'm going to need under courses, individual course sales pages, book a call, scheduling, calendar, what else? Products, individual product pages, contact. We're going to have on the contact page kind of like a disclaimer about like, I don't want tons of emails. Filter out people who are just asking questions that probably don't need to be emailed. Maybe send them to a video or book a call or whatever. Disclaimer, contact form. That works for me. So there we go. We got it all out. We just vomited it out with our iPad here. We got all the different ideas, and then we kind of put it on kind of in a more organized fashion, as you can see here. Like this. There we go. Now, what I probably want to do is let's check out the next goal. Well, let's organize the content with a sitemap. So a sitemap is kind of like what I just showed you there. So a sitemap could be as simple as your website plan. This is technically a sitemap. Some people like to use tools. Some people like to sketch it out on paper. For me, a sitemap could be as simple as just links on a list with indents. So you got the home page. Anything indented is kind of inside of that. But now let's say if you wanted to actually provide a sitemap to your client, something a little bit more professional, well, then you could use a document. You could use, you could sketch it. You can create more professional looking sitemaps. A sitemap is essentially a map that shows you what your site is going to look like. So let's go back to our iPad here, and I'll just kind of show you what a sitemap could look like. This is just, I'm going to sketch one out here. So sitemap. Now I probably wouldn't submit this to a client because it's going to look a little scrappy, but when you're initially brainstorming your sitemap, now that you got your idea vomit out and you're organizing your content in those sections, we're going to think like this. So we got Brad's site. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. And then we're going to do like home. Okay. And what's next? About. And then what's next? Let's go blog. What's next? Let's go work with me. Okay, this is the top level pages. And this is more, when I put it like this, Brad's site, and this first little line that I'm drawing here, these lines is kind of like the primary navigation. This is what you're going to see in like the top navigation bar. You know, again, this is not wireframing. I'm not designing what the site's going to look like. This is just the content organization. So work with me. What's next? Let's say we want contact. Okay. Now, there we go. So there's a basic top level nav. So this stuff right here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. This is top level navigation. So that just means that those are the links you're going to see essentially at the main navigation bar. These are the key links at the top of your website or in the main navigation bar. This is where most of your traffic is going to end up. Home, about, blog, work with me, contact. So those are the top level navigation. Now, what about secondary navigation or navigation that's not associated with the top level? Well, things like we can have separate, let's say, we're going to say secondary. So we're going to go here. Now, this is just my way of doing it. This is going to be secondary navigation. These are like secondary pages. So about, blog, let's say posts. Okay, so it's like, this isn't actually navigation. This would be more like secondary links or secondary pages rather than navigation. So the top one is navigation. The bottom one here is more like, what's the next nested layer? So those would be like blog posts. Work with me would be something like book a call, or like courses. Okay, so that's kind of like more secondary pages. Now, pages that are not linked anywhere other than just standalone pages. So that would be something like your terms of use, privacy policy, FAQ, disclaimers, all that boring crap, excuse my language, at the bottom of your website. You know, if I'm going like to my Freelancing Freedom website here, we're going down here and it'll be like this stuff. Terms of use, privacy policy, you know, these are kind of something like that. You know, or on my personal website in the footer, privacy policy, freelancer resources, you know, that's kind of what I mean by that. So you got your top level nav. I don't know if you actually saw my screen there. Let me show my screen again. So at the bottom of, so like here's my website. At the very bottom, you know, you got your, let's go to freelancer resources and pull up a new page. So this section up here, this is like primary navigation. And then down at the bottom, kind of like standalone stuff, privacy policy, terms of use, affiliate disclosure, testimonials, stuff like that, you know. And then let's go back to the iPad. So this is just kind of like organizing it into a sitemap. You can't even see the whole thing here. Something like that. Okay, this is really messy, but that's kind of the idea here. Now there's tools that you can use. You can use tools like Adobe XD. You can use other wireframing tools that are free or not. I'll link some stuff up in the description. But essentially what you want to do is identify the goal. Idea vomit all your content. Organize the content with a sitemap. Kind of like what I just showed. You can go real scrappy, pen and paper. You can use your iPad. You can sketch things out, or you can use a more sophisticated tool like Adobe XD or, you know, Figma, or any of these tools where you have a nice, pretty version where you get the boxes and the lines and the nice connectors and it's all beautiful. But when you're just getting scrappy and you're just planning out your site initially, you don't need to worry about all the fancy stuff. Okay, so goal, just get all the content ideas out, organize it into something meaningful like a sitemap. And then after that, you're ready to start wireframing. So the wireframing, we're not going to get into this video because it'll get a little bit long. We want to take what we know about our content and start designing these things out. So if you're looking at your iPad, you go, okay, well, I need to start with the homepage. What's the homepage look like? How are we going to wireframe this? What is like the blueprint? What's the about page look like? What does a blog post look like? What about a course sales page? So these are all wireframes. And then you would actually create these documents in a Sketch, in Adobe XD, Figma, whatever other tool you want to use. You can use Photoshop too if you like it old school. And those are your wireframes. I often just like to wireframe on a piece of paper or something like the iPad. I don't like to take it too seriously. Because when I'm working with a tool, you got to think about the tool. You got to think about how to use the tool. And there's a learning curve before you can even start getting to work. But if you just got an iPad with just like sketches or like a piece of paper, you don't need to learn how to draw boxes and lines. So in our next video in this series, we're going to be digging into wireframes. So I hope that this was valuable to you. Thanks for watching. If you like this, then hit that like button. Little Birdie told me that when you hit the like button, that's a good thing. That tells YouTube that you like me, and I want you to like me and these videos because you're going to see more of them. And I want to make sure that this year you're learning lots. You're getting better as a web designer. You're becoming more talented, more skilled, and ultimately a more well-rounded and profitable expert. I want you to be able to take this craft and do something with it. Get a new job. Get a better pay at your current job. Start your own business. That's why I like web design, because it's so versatile. There's so much you could do with it. So hit the like button if you like this. And you know what? I really appreciate you. Let me know in the comments what you liked about this, any questions about wireframing and planning out your site and all that sort of stuff. Until next time, I've been Brad Hussey, and this was another video of the art, business, and craft of web design. Catch you later.